Are you listening? Damn.
I am going to talk about Astroworld and the tragedy that occurred there. But I'm not going to talk about Travis Scott or Drake. I'm going to talk about... it's fun. What's funny is I'm going to talk about talking about it. Yesterday, a friend of mine said, you should really talk about Astroworld on your podcast this week and the tragedy that occurred there. And if you're unfamiliar, a big concert, Travis Scott, Drake, a handful of others, and unfortunately 8 people have died as a result, and there are many injured through various things. I mean, stampedes, there's rumors of drug overdoses, like there's lots of weird shit went down on this concert. So a friend of mine said you should talk about it, and I said no, I didn't want to talk about it. Not only does it not really feel my speed, it doesn't really feel like the type of thing I normally talk about on the show, but I have found and I have felt undercurrents of racism when talking about this concert. And I didn't want to go near it, and then I thought, you know what, let's talk about those kind of undercurrents of racism. Let's talk about it, because I think the idea of progressing, moving the agenda and moving the needle, and not being the type of guy who stands back on the wall. I wanted to move the needle and talk about it a little bit, and use a platform and maybe engage you in a discussion, maybe engage others in a discussion. So, kind of laying all the groundwork there. This is my concern about talking about the Astroworld tragedy and the undercurrents of racism that I'm feeling. And maybe I'm being overly sensitive. You guys can tell me. There's a lot of comparisons going on about what Travis Scott did versus what he should have done. So you're hearing a lot of, well, he should have stopped the show. He should have done this. He should have done that. He should have done this. And then there's a comparison to other artists who have done it in the past. And there's videos making the round of other artists who have stopped the show when they've seen something they didn't like. I have not seen a comparison to another black artist. It is always compared to a white artist. I've heard things like, oh, well, Travis Scott didn't do it, but here's a video of Kurt Cobain doing it, stopping a show when he saw something he didn't like. Here's a video of Dave Grohl stopping something when he didn't like it. Here's a video of Garth Brooks stopping a show. Here's a video of Nickelback stopping a show. It's always a white artist. And I've also heard like hypotheticals. Well, I've seen other white artists. I've seen this. And it's just, I think that when we talk about what is a microaggression and when is it built into our system, these are one of those little moments where we're not necessarily intending to push that agenda, but I think it is. I think it's hurting, like the black community in hip hop, and it's typecasting them, and it's painting with a broad brush. And if I could have 1 or 2 examples of a black artist stopping the show, I'd be far more comfortable with that comparison. Which in and of itself sounds a little racist. Like, it's such a slippery slope. But I think it's worth having the discussion. So, it's why I didn't want to get into whether or not Travis Scott was right or wrong and how he handled it. Do I think there was some failings there? Obviously. The security clearly wasn't up to snuff. But is it Travis Scott's fault? I don't know. I think he's the performer. I don't think he has much of a say in security and things of that nature. I think this is a third-party vendor that dropped the ball on this. So there's going to be tons of investigation. There's going to be tons of fallout, tons of lawsuits. There's going to be all kinds of shit that's coming out of it. I just want to kind of take a moment, pause, and say I think we need to be aware that there might be some undercurrents of racism occurring through no direct fault of anyone. I think it's meant to be a conversation about Travis Scott. I'm worried that it's painting too broad of a brush. Message me, IM me, DM me, tweet me. Let me know your thoughts on this one, because I am curious as kind of the mood out there, and if I'm way off base. Maybe you hadn't thought of it that way, but that's why I didn't want to tackle it. And I still really didn't. But let me know.
Thanks for listening.
Damn.